Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday the 8th of September 2020. Thanks for joining me. I'm using the patch tarot for this reading. Let's see what these cards want you to be aware of. As above, so below. Okay, so I'm going to choose 3 cards here to see what the day is about and what kind of energy is in the atmosphere and how you can use that to your advantage. So we have the Aeon first. That's Judgment in the regular tarot. The Three of Cups. And finally, the Six of Swords. That is really interesting. I love that. Okay. Here we've got advance and regress if it's upside down. So advance in the sense of making progress. The Judgment card is usually an angel with a trumpet blowing that instrument, and the spirits down below in the earth wake up and they kind of rise from their graves and regain this new life. And here we've got this being kind of rising from the earth up spiritually, and this one here has a couple of arms, and then it transforms into this phoenix, and then it enters this spiritual realm. So it's ascending or advancing from the physical into the spiritual, and really recognizing that you're a multi-dimensional being. You're the sun, at the same time you're a human being, at the same time you're part of the universe of the divine, and you're also this mythical transformative creature. So it's an interesting way of presenting the card. This here looks like a teardrop, and with all the fire here it looks like this is burning. So that's kind of unclear in the sense of what they're trying to say here. Got the Star of David, the 6-pointed star, so the intersection between the world and spirit. But that doesn't look like the world to me. The continents are a bit wonky. Anyway, the main point of this card is that the universe is calling you to wake up to your true nature. You're not just an accountant, you're a spiritual being. You're not just Bob's mother or Ben's mother, you're a spiritual being. You may have the same routine every day, but on a spiritual level, something else is going on completely. So forget about the earth version of you, what society says you should be, what your friends say you ought to be, what your family say this is what we expect of you, and realize that you can rise above all of this and regain your true power by remembering who you are today. And that's the way you advance. That's the way you make progress. If you forget who you are and you give your power away, and you let the world dictate what you're supposed to do, you're just moving into the fire here. It's not a positive outcome. You just move backwards, you regress, okay? So in every circumstance that comes up, what would the real me do in this situation? You know, like in the 90s, they had those bracelets with what would Jesus do for the Christians? What would the real you do in any situation? So you're being disrespected, or people are making fun of you, or they're celebrating you. What is the real me in all of this? And you'll notice that in some things where you expect to have a major reaction, you don't feel anything. And some things which are totally meaningless make you feel like you're on top of the world. And it's important to pay attention to what the real you enjoys and thrives from, and in what circumstances it thrives, because that's what you need to remember and devote yourself to today. The Three of Cups mean that it's almost like the universe is showing you how to be happy. One way of being happy is by sharing this abundance of emotion and love that you have with other people who you love, and you form this unity of sharing yourself with other people. They do the same, and you create another Star of David. And we've got another here, so it's the Star of David day. Star of David, we've got one triangle pointing downwards and one triangle pointing up. I always interpret that as spirit reaching up, or the human kind of consciousness reaching up to spirit and saying, hello, I want to connect. And the triangle pointing down is spirit saying, hello, this is where we are. We want to connect as well. And the Star of David represents the intersection of spirit and matter being integrated perfectly. So by spending time with your friends, virtually or in person, and celebrating each other, you really find that that's something that makes you happy. And then also, we've got the Six of Swords. Usually that's travel. Someone taking on this difficult journey, moving across the water. Here we've got someone floating above a city, transcending everything, kind of being empowered by the sunlight of spirit here and just kind of floating up in this perfect Star of David. You can see the outline, they've drawn it there. And it's encircled here by this, it's Star of David with a circle around it. So it's almost like this, unity with other people. And again, this ascension rising up from your mundane, normal, everyday circumstances and transcending that and remembering who you are. So traveling spiritually to regain your power. And then also what you'll really enjoy is actually traveling in a physical sense and exploring different places. And traveling spiritually, communicating, Mercury, the communication planet, with spirit, the higher realms, and feeling a sense of ascension spiritually because you're connected. So the things that are going to bring you joy today and the things that are going to empower you are your friends and people who are close to you and the people who are nearest and dearest to you, and spending time with them and sharing the love you have. And then traveling spiritually or in person, you'll have a huge sense of connection, being taken care of emotionally, and you are connected to something much greater than yourself. So this sense of power that you get is kind of in proportion to what you're experiencing. So let's say the biggest power you've ever come across in your life is, and you've been living like Nell in the woods, okay? And the first thing you see is a horse-drawn carriage. So that 2 horsepower, 2 horses, is pulling a carriage is the strongest energy you've ever experienced. And you compare yourself to that saying, well, 2 horses are much stronger than me, so I am physically, let's say 10% of what they can do. If you connect spiritually to this overwhelming sense of love, or with friends and you feel the love, you see or feel or realize a power that's alive in the universe and that's infinite and so huge and powerful that describing it is not even possible because it's infinite. And when you are aware of that power, looking at yourself in comparison to that, you realize that you are that power. You're a splinter of that power in a human body. So that's a whole different way of seeing yourself. It's like, oh, and I'm not 10% of a horse in terms of strength. I am everything that the universe is in terms of strength. So my power is infinite. Where I lack in muscle, I make up for it in intellect. And where I lack in intellect, I make up for it in beauty or whatever it may be. And by listening to this angelic sound, waking you up, it's like, hello, knocking on your door, saying, we've got a message here for you. You're much more powerful than you think. Your life wants to be much more positive than it is right now, and you can transform that. Remember who you are. Have fun and see yourself as other people see you. And transcend your circumstances by traveling physically or spiritually and seeing things from a different perspective and realizing that you are above everything. Here we're floating over the earth, and here we've got a center of love. So the Star of David really kind of descends on you today. You feel exactly where you're supposed to be, and you can really build amazing connections with other people, or enjoy the amazing connections you've got, and then transcend them because you feel strong and powerful in yourself. There's an abundance of strength and positive feeling and balance, so I can do anything. And that helps you not just progress and make inroads to what you're trying to achieve on a soul level, but you ascend. So you totally transcend your circumstances today. So it's like the profits are doubled. So any spiritual work you do today, expect great results. Friendships and broadening your horizons, they're all going to have wonderful positive effects. So take advantage of that and explore and really make use of all the good things that you've got in your life for a greater sense of security and comfort and power, so that you can actually take action today and even have fun with it. Number wise, we've got 20 and 3 is 23 and 6 is 29. 2 and 9 is 11. 11 in numerology is the master number of service. So when you remember who you really are, that's when you can really be a good friend, because you have access to your real power, which your friends will benefit from. You're of service to yourself because you don't live your life at 20% capacity. You're living your life at 100% potential because you know who you are and you remember who you are. And finally, your skill and talent that puts you out into the world then allows you to serve other people. So you're making a positive contribution to the world, you're being of service, and that always serves you in return, because what you put out, you get back. So have an amazing day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website, gregoryscott.com. Click on the button on the front page to order a personal reading with me. If you have any questions about your work, your life purpose, love, travel, finance, anything at all, just get in touch via the website, gregoryscott.com. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.